This is not a test. Don't expect to be impressed. Put on your life vest. Sit down your armrest. It's time to stray from the grind. Don't take my hand, 'cause you'll find no peace of mind. Side quest.
Hi there, and welcome to the Side Quest, a special end-of-year side quest, where we're going to do the year in review. What were the best cinematic triumphs, the best books, the best music that we're surely all out of touch with by now. And there's a little bonus, we're doing this live on our Patreon. Not a member of our Patreon? You can fix that. Go to patreon.com/authors and dragons. You can get into our Discord and hang out with us now and then. Now, being one of those occasions, we'll be taking some questions as we go along and listening to the chat. But who do we have with us from our regular crew today? We got Drew Hayes, Rick Walteri, and R.E. Carr, Rachel Carr. Hello, everyone.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello, everyone.
You're still doing the Christmas voice.
Oh shit, are we supposed to be jolly and stuff?
I guess.
It's jolly as you want to be. I did a reading of my Christmas shingles earlier, so I'm in the spirit.
Oh yeah, you get Christmas. I got Thanksgiving, so I had the turkey murder the guests.
Shingles.
Spoilers.
Well, thanks for bringing us down, Rachel.
It's on the cover. It's not exactly a spoiler.
I was about to go into like my holly jolly spiel here, but now I'm like, okay, well, turkey murders, you know.
Well, yeah.
There's certainly no murders in Holly's Jolly Christmas. No, there's a lot of murders. There's a lot.
And I'm married to a Brit. So he's a Brit. What do you guys have on Christmas? Turkey. So I'm still on brand.
Steve, correct her. You got to correct her. It's a salmon moose ring.
Yeah, that's the only thing they have.
Ideally, it would be, Rick.
Fuck?
But I have walked the streets of Corby today for many an hour searching for a salmon moose ring, and I have found none. Therefore, Christmas is cancelled. And if you listen to this in the future, fuck you. I hope you didn't have a Christmas.
Go throw up your dinner and burn all your presents.
Wait, that's like a thing? You actually need a salmon moose ring? Because I'm having salmon for Christmas dinner because we're heathen colonials.
No. It doesn't count unless it's like liquefied and I guess in ring format.
It's got to be a salmon
Salmon
moose.
and salmon moose ring are different animals.
Wrapped in the skin of a
from
salmon.
our understanding.
And shaped in a ring. Otherwise, it doesn't count. I haven't seen one since the fucking 90s.
All I'm doing is making sausage rolls and proper English custard because that's what my hubby asked for his English Christmas party.
I don't know. You might want to go and check on him. He might not be actually British. He might just be from I don't know, Baltimore and just faking an accent.
Just doing an impression. Oh, love, can you fix me up some sausage rolls and custard from the Christmas tea?
He did want sausage. Those were his two favorite things from Christmas. He likes the custard. He doesn't like Christmas pudding. He doesn't like Christmas cake. He hates mince pie. But he loves the custard part. So I said I would make it and put it on the pumpkin cake that he actually does like. Okay, we're a hybrid household. We're half American, half British. We gotta compromise somewhere.
Now I'm telling you, he's talking to his friends and be like, it's been 20 years. She still thinks I'm from England.
You mean he actually was so invested? He flew me to London, took me to a lovely seaside town, introduced me to people who look like him on the English coast, and
Rachel.
That was all a conspiracy.
That's the key to a good lie. You gotta commit.
Yeah. Let me introduce
You believe
to a
the
concept,
lie.
a concept known as the long game.
You think people in English seaside towns have got anything better to do? Because if you do, you're wrong.
You're telling me this lovely English lady just adopted a crazy American writer as part of a con?
Well, I mean, you're like the ninth family that day.
Because she's bored and she needed the money.
Oh my god. You realize my mother-in-law's probably going to listen to this at some point and be like, oh, bloody hell.
Oh shit, I rumbled.
I guess I'm not getting that check again next year.
Oh, that's where my money goes.
Salmon boost ring this year. Without me fraudulent pennies.
We're busted, Jimothy! Pack it all and go!
Chimney Pete, pack up the wagon.
It is a little odd that everyone of his generation of his family married someone from outside of the UK. Maybe there is some merit to this conspiracy.
I mean, I think you have to set a salmon moose ring down in front of him and just see what happens. If it's not instantaneous and loving recognition, oh, you have questions.
Oh God, I want to see that. A salmon moose ring and Rachel holding a gun. You're like, finish it all.
Oh my god! I don't want. You know me. I will make a salmon moose ring. I made motherfucking puff pastry today because I had to make sausage rolls from scratch like an idiot.
Oh, that just seems like a flaw in your infrastructure. Then again, I can't talk because, again, sitting here without a salmon moose ring by my side. Anyway, enough of this depressing tangent.
I have so many depressing tangents yet to come. I'm just warming up.
By the time you listen to this, you would have celebrated whatever it is you celebrated this time of year. Something jolly, I hope. Something great. Nothing too depressing. You'll be looking forward to the new year. Unless you're on some other continent where they do it differently. I don't know. I can't be expected to keep track of these things. But, it's this time of year we kind of reflect on the year before. It used to be fun. Till like a couple of years ago. Now, I'm not sure when anything happened at all. Because we're still kind of in the apocalypse, which I think just counts as an ongoing year. But
It does kind of feel continuous, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the last couple of years, it's been like, the year in review has been like, okay, did I end up ruling Bartertown or not?
I have not yet found my Master Blaster, so I have not yet chanted that.
Yeah, that's code.
Yeah, that is actually code.
Okay.
All right, so we've tackled this. I'm only going to be here for a little bit on this one so far, but I have a thing or two I'd like to hit up top for some positive things I found this year that I really enjoyed.
Sure.
And one of them is I found a good sitcom, like a genuinely good, funny, well-written sitcom, and it was truly the last place I expected it to be. The new Saved by the Bell reboot on Peacock is so fucking good. I can't. I'm so mad at it for it being that good. But like, I don't like Saved by the Bell. I have no affection for the original series. This is not a nostalgia covered thing. The only exposure I have to it is this series called Zach Morris's Trash, which is a YouTube series depicting all the funny, like, stupid, horrible shit that Zach Morris did. And the guy who made that writes on this fucking series.
I'm genuinely surprised.
I
And
am.
a little bit angry.
I cannot, like, and it's not like an amazing, like, show or drama. It's a really good sitcom, and I found myself just, like, stunned at how much I had missed that. Like, they have, like, these fun premises, like the ridiculous over-the-top sitcom tropes are still there, but they're just explained away as, oh no, these are rich kids, so, you know, they just get away with shit.
That does make sense.
You filled the gym with pudding! Well, my dad's the governor.
I'd kind of like to explore the logistics of filling a gymnasium with pudding. I mean,
God.
was it a cornstarch based or
Watch the sitcom then, Rachel.
And it's got a really strong cast. Like I really like. They bring back a couple of the original for cameos and like 2 as mains in the first season, but it really focuses on like the younger generation. And man, they found some incredible actors. The dude who plays Zach Morris's son is like this perfect level of like just on the warm side of psychopath.
Did he ever just like stop mid-sentence when somebody's trying to tell him off and just say, do you know who my dad is? Does he ever just play that card? You don't remember my dad? He was a legendary psychopath. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah, like I'll just say I haven't seen this, but like I have not been steered wrong by any of Drew's recommendations for things to watch. So 100% believe that. And it's my brain is trying to like reconcile the concept of Saved by the Bell and good.
It's a hard one. It really, like, again, I did not go into this with high expectations, but I really enjoyed. There was a show called Great News, and it was made by a runner called Tracy Wigfield, who also produces and runs this show. That's why, like, I took the gamble, because I very much enjoyed the pacing and like the comedy style of it. And I don't know, there's a snappiness, there's a funness, there's a charm. I can't believe that I am saying this, and understand that it's not with any joy in my heart. Like, but Saved by the Bell was the best fucking sitcom, maybe the best show I saw this year. It was so fucking charming.
You got me hooked on a 2-hour documentary about the history of the Fast Pass, Drew, and it was actually good. And now I have watched 3 fucking seasons of Defunct Land thanks to you. So
Defunct Lands is awesome. That's a great little documentary channel. I
do accept your recommendations, because I never thought I would like it. And here I am with 2 cats, a British husband who may or may not be a conspiracy, watching the history of Disneyland. I'm not even a Disney stan, and I can't stop watching it because
I know the pain, Rachel, because of Drew, I wound up like binging like 9 seasons of Letterkenny in like a week.
I'm now watching, what is it that I'm watching? Oh, Ted Lasso, I have been roped into now. And I didn't want to like it, and I like it. And I'm like, oh my god, what's happening to my edgelordiness? I like Ted Lasso.
Yeah, that's just it's hard to not love Ted Lasso. There's a little something in there for everybody.
But it's so much of my life, except in reverse. I am the American surrounded by cranky Brits. So it strikes a nerve, and it shouldn't. And so now I've got to add Saved by the friggin' Bell to my list. Thanks, Drew. Could you just next time find me like a documentary on sushi in Subway? Oh wait, that actually exists.
Hero Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah, that's actually amazing.
Oh, super good. If anyone's not seen that one, it's not a 2021. And then real quick, my book recommendation. For once, I'm not going to do a nonfiction, which tends to be my habit on these. But there was the sequel to the Schoolamance trilogy, and I'm trying to find it on my phone because the author's name has slipped me, and I absolutely want to give them the appropriate recommendation because it is an extremely good book. The Last Graduate by Naomi Novak. There we go. The Last Graduate by Naomi Novak is in the Schoolamance series, and it's I guess I would say comparably, it's sort of a darker, like harsher take on Harry Potter. But I say that, and then immediately the thought is The Magicians, but it's not aggressively joyless. Like, it still has heart and a lot of fun characters. The world is bleak, but the characters themselves are very fun and interesting, and it's just it's a compelling, awesome read. A lot of romance in there too for folks who enjoy that aspect of it. I read the first one I think last year, and then as soon as this one came out, I just cooked through it, and I was very, very satisfied.
I like that, like The Magicians, but not depressing.
So yeah, those are my high points of 2021 from the media standpoint. Some stuff I found and really enjoyed and wanted to share.
All right, awesome. Well, why don't you go grab yourself some food so we can hop back on? And since you started off on TV, that sounds like a good place for the rest of us to jump off on.
All right, I'll look forward to hearing y'all's recommendations when I listen to this later.
Farewell, Drew. See you for the movie later, which is another thing we do in our Discord. Should you not be on it, like a jerk. Anyway, yeah, TV. Come on, Rick. Give us your TV recommendations for this year. I cut the cord like about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So network TV, I have not watched a single damn thing. But I've been doing a lot of streaming stuff, and I gotta say, between Paramount Plus, Netflix, all this stuff, I think the most joy I've had out of a single show has been Star Trek Lower Decks. And it's a cartoon. It's the thing I love about it most of all is that it is so like geekily respectful of of Star Trek continuity, remembering dopey little details that that it's like you hear and you're like, holy shit, yeah, I remember that from from the third episode of Star Trek The Next Generation.
and it's not afraid to then mock the crap out of it. Like Paramount itself is kind of a joyless company. I mean, they've gone after Star Trek fans more than once for just being fans. So the fact that they allowed this to exist kind of like blows my mind. But it seems like something that this company would look at and be like, no, we are Star Trek. We do not have senses of humor about that. But as a result, it just winds up being that much funnier.
Well, I have to be on the side of the person you were doing an impression of, Derek, because I don't know, it still sounds awful to me. I keep on seeing reviews from people saying, oh, it's so cute and frenetic and geeky, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to play with those people. I just want to rewatch TNG. Leave me alone.
Even the terrible episodes of TNG?
Especially the terrible episodes of TNG.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, it's the only Star Trek out right now that has any semblance of joy in it. Because Picard is depressing as hell, and I realized this season that I'm like, I've been watching Discovery, and like 4 seasons in, I don't like any of the characters.
4 episodes in, I hated every single fucking character.
I liked Discovery in the beginning. I don't know why. I think I was the only one. But
what did you like? Did you like the misery?
I have a thing for angsty, sexy Klingon boys that are, dressed in the costume of Clem Fandango.
Rachel.
Okay, all I see is I see Clem Fandango from Toast of London as a Klingon, and it sparks something in me that is inexplicable, and I can't control it, and I don't know why. But yeah, that's my kink apparently, and I enjoyed the show while he was on there.
I don't think the mainstream should be trying to keep up with Tumblr. That should be its own thing. But Rick, I may revisit the concept of not watching a new version or installment of something because I have the much better original at my beck and call. But we'll see. Rachel, do you have a recommendation that isn't to do with some weird hybrid Tumblr kink you have?
No, it's not a Tumblr kink. It's Toast of London. That's a perfectly respectable British TV show.
It is, actually.
Stop licking your TV screen.
Toast of London is... Yes, that's right.
Yes, thank you.
That's very respectable.
I enjoy that show way too much. I watched... Well, other than going down the rabbit hole of Defunctland on YouTube, God, I watched a lot of YouTube this year. I think... I'm trying to think. I honestly liked Hawkeye, despite not initially wanting to. Like, I thought it took a couple episodes to sort of warm up, and then it just invaded me like a parasite and took over my brain, and I found myself cheering because I felt like it was the first Marvel show on Disney Plus that actually stuck the landing. I've had multiple cases where I really enjoyed the Marvel TV shows until the last episode and was kind of like, I am disappointed. I didn't want to be, but I am. WandaVision being the biggest one that was like the greatest show until the last episode, and then I was just like,
oh, I kind of like the last episode of WandaVision, but I'll agree with Hawkeye because, like, I was the same thing. I didn't want to like it because, well, it's Hawkeye and he's the least interesting.
But it's the Matt Fraction version of Hawkeye, like that storyline, which was like the best version in the comics. So it did have that going for it.
I don't know. I always thought, like in the comics, Hawkeye was kind of the Wolverine of the Avengers for most of his run. But in the movie, he's just kind of a grey man, ex-government dude, which I understand he needed to be. But I was kind of looking forward to a story that fleshed him out a bit more. And we nearly got that. I really like the angle of, like, yeah, you put this human in a war with gods and aliens, and he's got fucking PTSD, because of course he has. Mm-hmm. But that kind of took a back seat to the cutesy stuff quite quickly. And I don't know. I mean...
I don't think it did. I think it did have a strong current. It just didn't have to be joyless to let there be emotional growth, which I thought was nice. I mean, come on, this year has been a dumpster fire. Can we not have growth, emotion, and joy all in one?
No.
No, I tend to agree with Rachel. Like, I think if they had gone down that first route of experience, it's like, okay, in episodes 1 through 5, we pretty much just watch Hawkeye wake up every night screaming into the void.
Yeah, it'd be fucking brilliant. You know what the best part of Hawkeye was? Bringing back Vincent D'Onofrio and having him beat the shit out of a teenage girl.
That was, but you know what? Like, I enjoyed that because knowing the characters, I'm like, damn, she may live. And it had like weight and gravitas. The only we probably shouldn't spoil Spider-Man. There was another fight in Spider-Man.
We can spoil Hawkeye because it's happened and it's serial. We probably shouldn't talk too much about Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, but there is a fight in Spider-Man that has that same guttural, visceral feel that the Kingpin and Kate Bishop fight had in Hawkeye, and it's like, whoa.
I loved it because in Hawkeye you can notice, because it's TV and it's not cinema, some of the fight scenes are a little bit... You can tell the stunt people are doing a lot of work to make it look...
But they did more of the Daredevil style fights, a lot more of like the practical, and it felt... Because it didn't have the huge cinema budget, they kept everything more street level, and I found that just refreshing and fun. And I may have been singing Rogers the Musical while in the shower this week.
I will firmly admit, if they create like, you know, a Kate Bishop, Elena Belova, like just buddy show. That's nothing more than them just sitting around and eating like breakfast every morning. I'd watch the fuck out of that because they were just awesome together.
They had the best chemistry I think I've seen all year in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh is a national treasure.
If you really want to kill the stakes in a fucking action series, have the villain and the protagonist just have a really nice bond, just getting along. It was fun, but I don't know. I just wanted Vincent D'Onofrio to come in and just beat the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, but it was like watching I hate to say it, almost forgotten. Like, I knew he was good, but seeing it after having a bit of lame villain syndrome across fandom properties for a while, and to see him come back, and to see another... Well, he's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but to see Willem Dafoe come back, and you suddenly go, oh, yeah, there really are some god-tier antagonists.
Yeah, they brought back these actual psychopaths into... Yeah, it was... Vincent D'Onofrio came back in with his constantly twitching eye, with his suppressed murder rage, and his huge bulking form. And
he's
just
terrifying.
Put the Daredevil combat style into this kind of balletic fun thing they were doing.
But I would have liked to have seen more of that, because like the stakes are like, one of the things about like, you know, the Daredevil show on like Netflix was every other episode was pretty much just Daredevil just lying in a pool of his own blood, having gotten the shit kicked out of him. And the stakes always felt high because it's not like, you know, he bounced back in the next scene. It was like, oh no, it's like it's supposed to be a week later and the character's still limping.
Why do you look like you've fallen down some stairs? Oh, I'm blind. Oh, okay then. Just write that one off.
I'm blind and this 400-pound guy just smashed my face into a brick wall.
You've got a boot print on your face, Matt. Yeah, you know, I'm blind.
I remember that one. I do. There was one where he had a boot print. Like, I liked the Netflix shows a lot. I liked the grittiness. I liked the darker tone. And I liked the Marvel shows a lot. It was just, I felt like Hawkeye was a lovely, like, an actually satisfying compromise between them. And I liked it way more than I thought I would. So I guess that's my pick of the year, because I would have sworn with my incredible Hiddleston nature that Loki would be my favorite Marvel show of the year. And I really like it. But it was all set up.
Yeah.
And thus I give it to Hawkeye as my Marvel show of the year.
I think I'd agree with you. I mean, I think the cutesy stuff is a little bit overdone, but you're right, it was quite a good compromise. And I liked the swordsman, and he was cutesy stuff, but I thought that was a good way to handle the swordsman. Just a dumb dad character who's just really good with a sword now and then.
And the LARPers. The LARPers could have been
written out the script.
Wasted.
entirely.
But they were good. But I liked them. I thought they were fun, you know?
Yeah.
Have you ever LARPed, Steve?
I LARP every day.
Oh, what do? Play a decent human being?
No. No, I can't back that up. I don't LARP every day. I'm a very shallow, and what you see is what you get kind of guy.
That's called being authentic.
So what TV did you use to burn off brain cells this year, Steve?
Oh, good question. I watched a lot of TV, and I have to say I have been of the mind that somebody has remade something. Oh, we should watch that. And I've just stopped watching these things now because I think most of them are shit, and the originals are available to watch. So I've just been reliving some classics.
Is there any remake you like better?
Any remake I like better? Nothing off the top of my head.
So you prefer the original Star Trek to Star Trek The Next Generation?
Well, that wasn't a remake, Rachel. That was The Next Generation.
Oh,
the clue's in the title.
Just
I finally got round to watching Schitt's Creek, but that's by no means new. But it was wonderful. New stuff I watched. What did I watch? It's new. Started watching The Witcher. I won't get too much into it. But I always thought the chronology of the first season, while being very true to the books, was just a pain in the ass and added nothing to it. And I'm glad they're just going for a more conventional storytelling format this time around. Henry Cavill, charming and handsome as always, with his little mumble sword shtick. So that's good. But I haven't.
Why do all Brit actors mumble when they play fantasy roles?
Because it's hot, Rachel.
Oh, well, can confirm it is.
There you go.
Yeah,
I just wondered if there's
yeah,
another reason.
I mean, you know, I like to think I'm a relatively straight guy, but if Henry Cavill shows up at my doorstep wearing his Witcher wig and just mumbles, be like, oh fuck, yeah, I'm like, okay, right now, okay.
Henry Cavill. I didn't understand a word he just said, but yes, let's go to bed together. That's probably not what he said, but you got to try your chances.
Oh, you want to run a World of Warcraft raid? Yeah.
On my
I
ass.
will run one in my
In
underwear.
the nude? Okay.
Okay. And here I thought the only kink to be discussed would be my hot Klingon version of Clem Fandango. But no, apparently all of us have Henry Cavill tarted up in his Witcher wig, mumbling.
I was going to say, put him in some Klingon makeup, and that might just destroy Rachel.
I'm sure the fan art exists, and if it does, it will be on my Twitter feed by the end of this, or in Discord. I never cease to be amazed. I got sexy Luigi sent to me for ages. Thanks, guys.
Keep that up, guys. You're doing God's work.
So, was Witcher your show of the year? We keep tangentially.
No, I've been spacing it out, so I've only watched 3 of them, so I can't really give it show of the year. I'd be tempted to go for Hawkeye because I did really enjoy it, and it brought, among with other mediums that we won't mention, has brought the best parts of the Daredevil Netflix franchise into the mainstream MCU, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really appreciated.
Yeah.
God, he was so good. It's the thing you don't appreciate until you compare him to some of the other villains, and you're just like...
I'm fully expecting to say that nothing that happened in the Netflix Daredevil actually happened in the MCU. That's fine.
You think they're variants?
Yeah.
But
as long as it's those characters and that style, giving those performances, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief. I mean,
they literally have a whole show with nothing but variants, so I think it works.
Yeah, they've kind of written themselves a blank check there. That's
Which means we could get, I really liked Jessica Jones, and then I'm perfectly happy though if they would like to recast Danny Rand, because if you really want to get me going, just get me drunk and start talking about Iron Fist.
Oh, Iron Fist. A lot of missed opportunities in Iron Fist. They don't need Danny Rand anymore. They got Shang-Chi. But that's movies. TV. What are we talking about? TV. What came out this year? Help me out, chat. Help me out, Discord.
Yeah. Tell Steve what his favorite show was.
Yeah. Stop expecting me to do all the work here. It's been a tough
there
year.
was a Cowboy Bebop reboot, speaking of your favorite thing in the world.
Yeah,
reboots.
I've been dancing around that because I refused to watch it. You know what I did instead? I watched the original Cowboy Bebop, which is fucking brilliant. But I can't really give that a 2021 credit, so... Aaron Tiki says, only murders in the building. I've heard good things. I haven't watched it yet.
I have heard good things, but I still haven't renewed my Hulu membership.
Zerigan says Schitt's Creek, but that wasn't this year, was it? Was there a season of that
Well, they had
this
a
year?
season this year, didn't it?
Okay, well, that's my pick then, because that would have been the final season, and that was an emotional roller coaster. I don't often sit by myself and cry at the television. That's a lie. I do it all the time.
I was about to say, I have witnessed, not you personally, but a lot of men crying in front of televisions.
I have as well, because I like to walk around my village and look through people's windows. And that's my 2021 television highlight of the year. Watching other people watch television and cry through their windows.
So it's kind of like a creepy Gogglebox thing you're doing?
Yeah, it's Gogglebox, except only I pretend that people are watching me, watching these people watch television. But really, that's all happening in my head. And it was the best show of 2021.
God, I am so repressed. I will do I'll be watching TV with my family and be like, they just threw the orphans down the elevator and set fire to the kittens. And then I wait for them to leave the room and be like, you burst into tears. I can't believe they did that.
Holy shit, Rick.
So you're the secret shame crier.
Yes.
What's your
Oh
other
my
pick?
god.
What was your secret pick for 2021? I want to hear about this orphan kitten elevator incident.
Yeah.
No. It's my wife and I, we don't really watch a lot of the same shows. So she'll go upstairs and watch TV at night. I'll stay downstairs, and and I kind of like that because it's like, okay, nobody's here in the room with me. When the kids walk by, hey, want to watch TV with Dad? No, okay. So it's kind of like I can do that thing, and then if somebody walks in during a particularly sad scene, I can be like, goddamn dust! Somebody should clean this place.
Dusty rooms. There are always dusty rooms.
Crying? No, I've just got some emotion in my eye.
Oh, the chat brings up Squid Game.
Oh my god,
yeah.
how could I friggin' forget Squid Game? That was bloody brilliant.
Speaking of crying at the television.
I cried at the television. I am not ashamed.
I did not cry during Squid Game at all.
You are a heartless beast.
Something, because I was enjoying. Something. If there's one thing I enjoy I guess it's kind of like I like special effects where I'm watching it going, ooh, that and they just had so many. Okay, we're gonna shoot you in the side of the head. It just looked painful. So I was kind of more just appreciative of of, goddamn. They just racked up a really good body count here, and none of it really felt fake.
Rick's there, just giving scores to it, holding up a 10 card above his head while everybody else is weeping. He was betrayed by the man he trusted. Yeah, but he went out stylishly.
I will admit, a lot of the I won't spoil it, but a lot of the characters that people cared for, and we're getting all weepy online. I was like, I didn't really like them when they introduced it. It's like they stuck around too long. I was kind of glad when they when they checked out with a bullet.
And I write books with you.
Here's what I like to do when I'm watching these sorts of things with my daughter. I like to give her a really conservative breakdown of what's happening. Like I was watching Rent with a very emotional musical about bohemians surviving 90s New York. As the credits started to roll, I said, that all could have been avoided if they just got a fucking job.
Oh my god, did the Tories invade your brain?
Oh god, I think I did that after something like Les Mis. I was like, have they ever tried being less miserable?
I said that. When all the revolutionaries got shot, and said, well, that's what you get for existing in a liberal bubble.
Oh my god. Remind me never to watch anything dramatic with Rick. Nor play any video game that has a good path and a dark path, because I have a feeling that we play exact opposite play styles in RPGs.
You know something? If you give me a weapon in a game and an open world, I will leave a trail of bodies in about 5 minutes.
You push the fucking penguins off in Super Mario World 64, don't you?
This is not
You
Tory
pushed the penguin
thinking,
off.
Rachel. Ren, they could have just got a job. Les Mis, read the room. Phantom of the Opera, you can fucking get over it. These things are easily solved with a bit of pragmatism. It's not political.
Hamilton, maybe maybe avoid duels.
Yeah, Hamilton, just listen to the King character. He seemed like a pretty stand-up bloke to me. Seemed like he had the right idea. Eat your custard, you filthy Americans.
Hey, I'm making the damn custard, okay? I am fucking making creme anglaise. It literally says the cream of the English, which has a very, very funny meaning when you're married to an English.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like, like a porn series right there.
I'm going to Google that later.
I'm not going to. All right, so moving away from TV, how about either movies or games or something?
Well, so you were just talking about you throwing the penguin off the mountain on Mario, which everyone's done, Rachel, hundreds of times.
No, I don't, because
and it's funny every single time.
It is not. It is cruel and horrible.
Well, what was your video game highlight of 2021?
Oh, I actually had a few because the PS5 was very nice this year. Guardians of the Galaxy was a amazing comeback after we don't talk about Marvel's The Avengers hiatus. It was horrible.
Yeah.
There was Tales of Arise, which would have been my game of the year until I got to the ending, and it sucked, and thus it goes in a little quiet pile. Final Fantasy XIV was, the new expansion is spectacular. It has, actual storytelling and payoff from all the previous expansions, and it's quite nice, if you can get in it. Deathloop was fun, but I think the game we played the most was the friggin' expansions of Mortal Kombat 11. I don't know why this game holds such sway over me, but to get Kari Hiroki Tagawa to play Shang Tsung again,
that was a solid move.
It was just amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna call bullshit here because you were just giving me crap for pushing penguins off, and you're spending all your time with Murder Simulator 11 there.
To be fair, British Accent played it. I just made him make the choices, and I chose every goody two-shoes option, and yes, in the end, except for one, because it was friggin' Kari Hiroki Tagawa, and I love Shang Tsung. So yes, maybe that's my one dark side game is Mortal Kombat, okay? That's the one where I let out all my rage, and then I'm a goody two-shoes in everything else. I mean, I got pure Paragon in Mass Effect. Do you know how hard that is? Just telling you.
Doesn't sound like it's worth it. Yeah, I've never played a Mortal Kombat game since the 90s, but I am weirdly obsessed with it. I will watch all the
lore is so good. If you can, Mortal Kombat 11, they have the complete set on sale. They had it on Steam I think it was Steam. It's worth it to get it. Especially the Shang Tsung storyline. It's great. It's just it's a whole letting the villains win for a change, and it's delicious.
Of all the wonderful additions to Mortal Kombat universe, like Robocop and Rambo and Terminator and Freddy and Joker, these are all fucking brilliant additions. But until Bruce Campbell's Ash from Evil Dead is added, I will not buy a Mortal Kombat game. When that happens, I will buy all the Mortal Kombat games. I mean,
I friggin' watched the Mortal Kombat TV show in the early 2000s, and I have seen all the movies. So I'm that person. I love the storyline. But I would have to say, though, if it's talking about just the best game of the year, it probably would go to Guardians of the Galaxy just for the overall. It was a single-player adventure game without a bunch of microtransactions and crap, and it was enjoyable.
That's a solid recommend.
Yeah.
It's a game you can actually play and finish, and it's I like that.
This was a really bad either console or computer games, because I didn't really see a whole lot that I wanted. That was out there. I was really excited for Back 4 Blood, and then the reviews started coming in, and I was just, this doesn't sound as good as it should. I mean, I had a lot of fun with Half-Life Alyx on my oldest VR set, but I know that didn't come out this year. I mean, I've mostly been on my phone playing this game called Marvel Strike Force, which is just a mobile game where you just build up Marvel characters and just mindlessly farm resources for it's basically Farmville but with superheroes, and I mean that's kept me sane in the off hours. But I mean, yeah, if I had a game that I played that I enjoyed the most, it probably would have been Half-Life Alyx in VR, only because that struck me as one of the, what?
I'm jealous you get to play that. I do not have the VR to play that.
I gotta say, it struck me as probably the first thing I've played in VR where I'm like, okay, this feels kind of like it should be the future of gaming. It's very immersive. The controls are pretty solid. There's a few things I would have liked. I would have liked to be able to use melee weapons to just walk around and just beat things to death with a crowbar. But shooting, all that stuff actually felt really good in the game. And the jump scares, jump scares in VR are a whole other level than jump scares on a TV, because you can look away from a TV, you can put your hands over your eyes and stuff. With VR, you try putting your hands over your eyes. Well, guess what? There's a big thing over your freaking eyes. You can't. it can be nerve-wracking. Sometimes you forget. Oh, all I have to do is just take this helmet off, and I'm back in the real world.
I've played some VR experiences. I've got a place, not at home, but in one of the kind of attraction places. And it was zombie survival. I was doing it by myself, and it was just me standing in an alleyway with zombies steadily approaching and just shooting them. And
that sounds like it would get very creepy.
Yeah, but that's the thing, it did. It's I am a grown man and I know this is not real. Why am I afraid?
Did any of y'all play Village this year? RE Village?
Oh, yeah. With Lady Dennis
I completely forgot. It came out in May.
Giant sexy
and
vampire
the big lady.
Yeah.
The big lady. That's my other private special moments. I love the big lady.
I like Village. I thought it was great. It was a little bit on rails at times. It had some really great moments, and it didn't really play to its strengths as much as it could have, because I could have spent a lot more time walking around that creepy vampire house with
It did feel a bit rushed. They were so focused on making it really beautiful and keeping it tight that they didn't give you enough chance to explore it, because some of the backgrounds were breathtaking.
It was beautiful.
Resident Evil has always been kind of on rails, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but this was short even for Resident Evil.
It was a return to its kind of the gothic core of it that I enjoy. And there was a segment of the video game where you just play, Chris Redfield, and he comes in with all the action shit, and you're just basically exploding werewolves with his bazooka machine gun. That's everything wrong with what happened with Resident Evil. Bring back the gothic
shit. It was
shit.
everything wrong. But everything, when you're exploring in the beginning in the vampire part, I think is everything right. Because it was terrifying before you got...
It was great, but just not quite... Yeah, they just didn't lean into it as much. Oh, yeah, the giant baby. Oh, God, that was...
Okay, that was the scariest moment of the year. The first time that thing, you see it, you're like...
Yeah, it does not fuck around.
Yeah, I think my uterus literally cramped in a knot just looking at that, oh my God. Things that the guys can't do. Man.
It's every time I watch that game, I start menstruating, which you guys can't do.
Take that,
believe me, if we could just do it on command and get it over with, we would.
Well, like a squid escaping danger.
There's probably some guys out there who think that's how it works. Oh no, I want to get out of putting out tonight. Boom, ink drops. It's not like that.
Oh well.
We were talking about Resident Evil, weren't we?
Yeah, we've still got years of evolution to sort out.
That is true.
Speaking of evolution, my video game pick, check that segue out. I'm quite pleased with that. Is Metroid Dread.
Oh, that was fucking terrifying.
It was brilliant. what I really appreciate about it is a lot of the old school Nintendo titles have been kind of released so regularly that they are really just kind of, what can we do with the new technology, with this familiar franchise that everyone loves, without changing it too much? And it gets into this, like, can we give them the same but different? Which I don't actually mind that much, because when it comes to Mario Kart or Mario Party, I'll take the same but different. I'll take just, like, this thing I love, in a slightly different, expanded way. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in terms of Metroid, there's been an evolution, and they've attempts to expand the lore, not always successful, not always great. I like the Metroid first-person shooters. I thought they were okay on the GameCube, but at the end of the day,
I loved Prime.
Yeah, I mean, Prime was good.
Yeah, except it's hard to play on the Wii, though.
Yeah, and I've always preferred the 2D Metroid. So Dread was returning to my territory, but it expanded every single Metroid ability to, I think, is probably its most perfect so far conclusion.
Some of those shine sparks, though, were brutal.
Oh, no, yeah, it's very challenging. It wasn't as... I think maybe the speed boost wasn't quite as satisfying as Super Metroid. But
no, I think that might be more the controller, though.
Yeah. It was a little more tricky, so it wasn't as natural and Sonic the Hedgehog-y, so not as fun and freeing. But everything else, like the way you were able to switch between missiles without having to select anything, and
that was...
Yeah, everything felt right. It felt like, okay, the technology is now at the point where this is Samus Aran, this is what she can do, this is groovy.
Some of the jumps still felt a little floaty and a little... Like, there was some frustration on some of it, particularly with, like, double jumps, screw attack. Like, when you were... And like you said, the speed, it just... Sometimes it was clunky, and it's like, when you run into a wall and the Emmy gets you, just because of sort of a controller lag, it's infuriating. And there are some moments of that game that were legit controller chucking moments.
Yeah.
Thank God I threw it on something soft, but that game was terrifying in points,
yeah, those
too.
controllers are expensive to replace. But that's right. Not only was it a great evolution, I think still maybe the most perfect evolution of what Samus can do and how she can do it. But there were also completely new additions with the Emmy robots, where you basically, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, you have to flee for your life from this invincible robot. Which is
yes, until you got your Omega Cannon, and then it was always like, how many times did you take it, bitch?
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
It is so satisfying. Like, I may have let out. I'm a pacifist, but not when it comes to destroying
digital life.
I'm a pacifist, but not when it comes to straight up murder
of robots in fiction.
God, you met, like, when they finally come up with, like, you know, with conscious AI, it's like, hello, Miss Carr, I am your, like, server. Oh God, put down the knife.
Omega beam, bitch.
Omega beam, bitch. Yes, I was the Omega beam, bitch. I was just always like, yeah.
The setup and payoff for every hunter robot that makes you feel like no matter how good you are at the game, you're back at square one and you are the hunted.
Mm-hmm.
And then to suddenly, when you unlock the weapon that can finally kill them and you become the hunter again, it's very satisfying. But I also appreciated the lore expansion just generally in the story, because the game's been called Metroid, and it's about the Metroid creatures. And those creatures have been extinct from maybe the fourth Metroid game.
It was kind of sad. I felt bad. I tried to save the baby Metroid, okay?
We all tried to save the baby Metroid, but it wasn't...
No, if Rick played it, he would totally be like, sacrifice it, give me the cannon.
Rick flew off a fucking mountain. That penguin doesn't look dead enough. I gotta throw a fucking Metroid at it.
Oh my God, Metroid penguin. I don't know, I'd be so conflicted if it was like a Metroid, or a head crab penguin. I play a lot of video games. They'll
bleed into one eventually. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that there. I think Metroid Dread is it's going to be a critic's pick for a while. Resident Evil Village will be as well, fondly remembered. Not just because of the busty vampire lady.
And Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't played that one, but I might check that out.
It is not like the Avengers. It's actually good.
Oh, don't
And
yeah.
it's
Avengers
a lot
is
of
probably
80s.
easily the biggest disappointment in video games in years.
I tried to warn you, Rick, and you didn't listen, and I think you bought it anyway. I told you it sucked.
Some shit you gotta experience yourself. Because here's the thing, I have played video games that others have hated, and I've had a great time. Like I remember when the Deadpool
I
game
was
came
not
out, everybody was
kidding.
like, "This game sucks, don't bother." And I picked it up, and I was like, "This is a lot of fucking fun."
It was not fun.
I like Trespasser Jurassic Park years back, and I think I am the lone person on the planet who enjoyed that game. So sometimes,
If you're having
I
fun.
like things that people.
Yeah, that's all that counts.
But yeah, that game just sucked. And I'm sorry, when you put out a shitty game and then you start releasing like patches and patches and patches and stuff, that's nice. I applaud that. But
That was the cyberpunk
yeah.
problem. It
Yeah.
could have been the greatest game of all time, but it was just buggy as shit.
yeah, because once you lose me, you're not getting me back.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
fair.
Our chat did mention Halo Infinite came out this year. I am not judging or getting Halo Infinite until all the modes are actually released for the game.
And I don't play Xbox games, so fuck that.
I am a Sony stan myself, but I usually end up getting an Xbox a few years after it, and don't tell British accent, but I am totally getting him an Xbox fridge for Christmas. He's not part of the Patreon, so he's not in the Discord enjoying that.
He can keep his custard sausage rolls in it, I guess.
We do not put the sausage rolls in the custard. They are separate, Steve.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. All right, so video games.
Get your
done.
sausage mousse.
Let's quickly go through movies. What's your movie pick of 2021?
Spider-Man. Can't say anything.
Yeah, we can't. This is going to be a short segment because we can't say anything about it, but
it's definitely Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It lives up to the hype. Please see Spider-Man. It is worth it. Unless it's not safe in your area, and then be safe. But it's really
I'm
good.
going to see it tomorrow.
You will love it, Rick.
I saw a review of it that said, "Oh, this one's for the fans," and it's like, yeah, if you don't give a shit about Marvel, don't go watch the Spider-Man movie. You gotta have no fucking idea what's going on. But if you do give even like a slightly shit about Marvel, it's gonna be perhaps the most fun cinematic event since Endgame, and I do not say that lightly.
It truly is Spider-Man Endgame. It's worth it. And it's the first time where I feel like Tom Holland finally gets to be Spider-Man
Yeah,
and not like Kid Wonder.
that's true. He doesn't. He finally evolves from Iron Man's sidekick to the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and that I can say that's not a spoiler alert because
No,
there's so much going on.
It's
in
the
this movie.
end of that trilogy, and it actually has an end, and it feels satisfying, and I did cry in a movie theater watching it.
But getting
Rick,
movies,
I cried for you.
I have seen, because like I said, I'm not seeing that till tomorrow. A lot of disappointments. This year, movies that I was like, okay, this should be good, and like I was really looking forward to Godzilla versus King Kong, and visually the movie is a treat, but it's one of those movies where they look and they're like, yeah, we'll explain that in a novelization, and I hate that. I'm like, no, if you're not going to explain it to me in the movie, that's some shitty plotting right there. I haven't seen The Suicide Squad yet because I want to see that.
Good.
So I would say I watched the new Matrix last night, and it's perfect, not even close, but it's easily the second best Matrix movie.
Oh, I'm kind of. I thought the trailer looked really interesting for The Matrix, but I've heard a lot of people say it's bullshit, and some people say it's not bullshit. So I'll reserve judgment.
I'll watch it with Steve. We should both watch it since we have such love of remakes. See what we think.
Well, the reason I liked the trailer is because it looked like it was doing something interesting. If you're going to do something interesting with a reboot, fair enough. But I will say, the new Suicide Squad movie, technically a reboot, but can also function as a sequel and actually a good movie, which is always great. And Free Guy was a fun movie. It was actually better handled than it needed to be, but you can just appreciate it as Ryan Reynolds being cute for 90 minutes. And I haven't seen Dune yet, chat. A lot of love for Dune in the chat.
It is beautiful.
Oh, I have one. Since I haven't seen Spider-Man, I really enjoyed Shang-Chi.
I liked Shang-Chi. I liked it. It still didn't feel like primo Marvel to me. And then when I watched the new Spider-Man movie, I was like, yeah, there's that warm bath of primo Marvel. There's that primo Marvel hand job I've been looking for 2 years. Anyway, but yeah, no, I like Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch.
I liked Shang-Chi. It did have some third act issues in Shang-Chi. I just didn't like the last fight as much as cool as it was. I thought it had some very
kind of
gave me motion sickness.
Typical Marvel third act problems, I thought, but
which they did not have in Spider-Man. That was the best thing about Spider-Man. It did not have kind of the Marvel third act problems. In fact, I would argue its third act was close to favorite.
Yeah, if I just missed the first 2 acts and just watched the third act, it would have.
The third act was not close to favorite, close to perfect.
Yeah, knockout punch.
It was brilliant. And yes, Free Guy is fun, but all I ever do is look at it and go, they displaced us for our Pokemon Go community day and made us move because of the movie set.
But it's not all about you, okay? Sometimes Ryan Reynolds needs to make a movie.
We were there first.
He doesn't need you looking for Pokemon, all right? Screwing up his vibe.
Screw Ryan Reynolds. I wanted my Pikachu.
He was Pikachu.
He is Pikachu. He's pulling rank, Rachel.
I know that was the joke. It was a joke.
You should have gone up to him and been like, Ryan Reynolds, I capture you, and then it'd be like a multi-state manhunt going on.
Yeah, that legitimately.
He's been in our town so much. I think he's probably going to get an apartment here at some point. They just keep filming shit in my town because of the tax breaks and the vaccine rates. So Dexter was filmed here, Free Guy was filmed here, Wakanda Forever. I got to actually see one of the setups and the scenes because it was by British Accents work, so it was fun. There's just a lot of movies now, so anytime you pretty much see New York or New Jersey in the 80s, it's actually the town I live in Massachusetts. So.
Well, I'm waiting for Disney to discover the wonders of Corby. But then they're just not doing it yet.
I would like to one day see the wonders of Corby, but that sounds slightly filthy. Especially
they got to do a Captain Britain, movie that 90% of it is just him just getting into bar fights in a pub.
Yeah, I mean, one day I could just take you to Corby and show you the alleyway I was conceived, married, and died in.
All in one alley? I hope it wasn't at the same time.
Cosmically speaking, yes.
I mean, yeah, if you start going on astronomical time, we are but born and died in a single moment. But, that's alleyway. A little too much.
Yes.
Hey guys, speaking of time, it's past 7, which is when we told people to start showing up for the movie.
So we will go watch the movie. Time.
We are wrapping up, and again, if you're listening to this on the conventional internet for losers and not in our Discord, you can get on our Discord if you like. You just have to join our Patreon. It does cost money, but then everything good does. Except for love, which you will find in our Discord if you give us money. So, but it's a new year. There's been Christmas. There's been all the other things. There's been Hanukkah. There's been Kwanzaa. There's been, some secret holidays for rich people that they don't tell us about, probably. You know what? It's been nice to have you along for the ride. We'll look forward to seeing you more in the new year. Have a good one. Hope it brings you everything you deserve. That wasn't a threat. That was a fond wish.
I sincerely appreciate all the guys in the Discord. Thank you so much for everything you've done to support us this year, and I know all the Calamity Janes appreciate you as well.
Yeah, big thanks for me. I'm all of our listeners have just always been so freaking awesome. I love the reception that Salty Bastards has gotten. You guys, when that started, I thought it was going to be people are going to be like, yeah, you suck, just end this game. But people have really gotten into it, and I appreciate it. But if there's one group to wish a Merry Christmas or a rich guy holiday, happy poor person stomping day too, it's you guys.
Yeah. Stump those poor people, you guys. We love you.
Do not do this. Do not do this. All right, so shall we say goodnight and go to movie time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Until next year.
Yeah, until next year.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.